If there's anything I've learned about when you rise up and when you're feeling good about life, it's that you're either paying the price for success or you're paying the debt of what you regret and what you didn't try. And I'd rather pay the price of success than the debt of regret. I don't know about you guys, but there's going to be a lot of people that when you actually start to improve, you actually do feel empowered because your life is just so dang good that even if you don't have anything, you're still spiritually in your heart completely solid and level-headed, and you know exactly where you're going, you have a plan, and you're going to execute it. It's times like this where people are going to really test you and the demons are going to be coming out to play. And if you don't believe me, then I don't think you're paying the price for success. And I've had to pay a lot for the price of the success that I've had in my life, and I'm not even anywhere near as successful as I want to be. And there's a lot that I'm going through right now that I wish I could be doing better on. But that's everybody, right? Everybody wants to be doing better in a variety of different ways, and how we do that is completely up to us and how we act in accordance to God's laws, statutes, and commandments. And I've been really tested recently with the temptation of lust. And there's been some really hard challenges that I've had to face with overcoming this temptation, because it's like, man, when you get beautiful women throwing your way, like throwing your way left and right, it's really hard to deny. But that's part of picking up your cross and following Jesus, right? Is you have to deny yourself every day. And with Jesus, you're either, if you are somebody that is actually trying to follow Jesus, you're either gathering people together or you're scattering them, right? There's a parable that Jesus uses and talks about, and how when the sheep will flock to the shepherd, right? And so the shepherd looks after the sheep and wants to actually do good for the sheep. And so that's what I'm hoping to do in videos like this and just in life in general, is I'm actually trying to bring life to the people once more, because there's so much spiritual death all around. And man, when you start to feel empowered and when other people are starting to feel more empowered and inspired by you, oh boy, that's when all these demons want to come out to play. That's when they want to show up and try to block your blessings, because that's exactly what they're going to try to be doing. They're going to try to block your blessings when you feel empowered. And some of these people might even not know what they're doing with the witchcraft that they're performing, but it is witchcraft, and they're trying to curse you to make sure that you can't accomplish what it is you need to accomplish. But you have to find a way. You have to find a way no matter what. And it's so interesting just the level of discipline that it's going to take. And I didn't even anticipate the level of discipline that I was even capable of until I got to a certain point in my life. And this kind of discipline wants to be like discipline in of itself. It's almost a quality of being more than it is a noun, right? And what I mean by that is that discipline is going to catapult you to certain ways and directions that are going to allow you to prosper. If you're saving your money, for example, or making proper investments for prospering, you're going to be able to make certain moves down the line that you weren't able to make however long ago it was that you didn't have those investments or that you didn't have that money saved up. And the Bible talks about this being the money specifically as like a penny saved. Like it's just as valuable to save money as it is to make it. And I think that that's very true. And so some of these people, some of the witches and demons and warlocks will be trying to block your blessings financially. They'll be trying to block your blessings in relationships. I swore for so long, I had a curse on me because it just felt like I genuinely felt that I was cursed. And I didn't know where this curse came from. I didn't know how it was. I didn't know, at the time, I didn't even know what a generational curse was, but I just felt so cursed. I didn't know what was going on, but it was like every single relationship that I had was doomed to fail. It was just every single one. There was always something that came up, and I couldn't believe it. I really didn't know what to make of it. And so when I finally was able to break the curse of this, I knew when I finally broke it, that it was a generational curse. And it was started with my great grandpa. And I know that because I was able to look at the ancestry lineage, and I was able to look at the history. And fortunately, my grandma, she was able to, the daughter of my great grandpa, she was able to create this whole genealogy record. And so I was able to really look through and see what exactly happened, and I got to learn a lot about their lives. And she made a book, and really, glad she did. But at the same time, like, the kind of curses and the generational curses that we had to go through and endure, like, there were 2 other generations before me, I suppose, not 3. There was 2 generations before me that had to endure those generational curses, and they were just passed on. And it was almost like the generational curses expanded upon themselves, and there's multitudes of them, and they multiplied and they multiplied. And finally, when you get to a place where you're breaking the generational curses, you're transcending that which is expedient, and you're pursuing excellence, especially as a man. You're doing this, and you're doing things that are in accordance to God's law, statutes, and commandments. It's like there are so many doors of opportunity that open themselves up to you, and yet behind a lot of those doors of opportunity, you have to be careful, because on the other side of opportunity is sometimes the devil lurking. And the devil wants you to take that opportunity because he wants you to be tempted. Okay? And again, this is something that I've been working through over the past couple weeks, is the temptation of lust. It's been very heavily influencing my life. And I'm not even, I've been on semen retention, so let's see, it's been since May of 2022. So it's not like this is a big thing for me, but I know that it's still part of this fire of refinement that I'm myself going through. And I think a lot of it has to do with just my age. Like, I'm in my, as far as biology goes, I'm entering my prime years as a man, and my testosterone is the highest it's been, and I'm in the best shape I've been in my life. And it's just like there's so many different factors that are going into play that it's like my body is like, come on, bro, we're ready. we're more than ready. But the thing is like, none of these women are ready. They're so empowered, but it's all facade. Like, these women are not empowered. They're entitled, and they are told that entitlement is empowerment nowadays. And there are a few good ones for sure. I'm not saying all women are like this, of course, because I can already hear the comments. Oh, well, not all women. You guys get it, though. You guys get it. The women that do watch this channel completely understand what I'm saying, and they totally get it. They totally understand. And this is where we're at. And the men are just not empowered in any way, shape, or form. I mean, you've got men being told that they are worthless pretty much no matter what, and they're not needed, and yet they're still expected to keep the society functioning and in well order. And even when it's not going into their, it's not in accordance to what they're doing, well, then it's still their fault, even though the men were told to step aside. It's like, some of these people out here, you're not going to be able to please. Okay, you're just not going to be able to please them, and that's okay. But don't necessarily go for striving for others and being there for others if they're not demonstrating some kind of form of loyalty to you. And I've had women that think they're demonstrating loyalty to me. It's hilarious. They're like, I told this woman that I don't do flings, right? I told this woman I don't do flings of any kind, and it's not going to be tolerated with me. And so she's intentionally trying to make me jealous one day, and then the next day she's like, oh, well, I'm only going to talk to you about this. She's talking to another man in front of me trying to get my attention, and she's like, oh, I'm only going to talk to you about this. Like, no sexual whatever. It's like, like, you really don't get it. You really don't. It's okay. It's all right. But just leave me alone. Like, stop trying to get my attention. And this is part of what the devil does, right? The devil just wants to distract you. The devil just wants to confuse you. And these women and a lot of the men out here, they are operating under the devil. The devil is their father, not God. And they're operating in spiritual death. They may look great on the outside. Some of them do. Some of them look really good. But they're not actually empowered, okay? Because true confidence comes from your connection to God. True confidence comes from your ability to have spiritual discernment and to see that there's something more to this life that is worth living. And it's not just about material goods or stuff, okay? There's a verse in the Bible that says, when I became a man, I put away childish things, right? That's exactly what it means to be a grown-up. And there's a quote in The Godfather that I think is really good. It says that women and children are allowed to be careless, but men cannot be careless. And it's true. Men cannot afford to be careless. They really can't. Because if you do, then you're screwing up your whole family dynamic, and you're screwing up the whole order of everything. And it's really on you, and it's incumbent upon you to do what must be done. And if you don't, well, then you're going to be paying the price of regret, not the price of sorrow, or well, I mean, yeah, you might be paying the price of sorrow, but not the price of success. And the price of success means proper discipline, proper sacrifices, and moving forward with a sense of integrity and dignity. Because a lot of the people out here, they don't know how to move that way. They just don't. And it's not necessarily their fault, but a lot of the time it is their fault, because they don't want to even understand how to move that way. They don't even want to understand what it's like to move a way that is not like devilish or satanic. And they think that it's good. That's the craziest thing, is some of these people legitimately think that they're good. They think that they're holy. And some of them even think they're holier than you. And yet they're the ones that are in spiritual sin. They're the ones that are not free from sin. And they're the ones that are not following God's laws, statutes, and commandments. And they're wasting their time. Like, they're just wasting their time. And so the best thing that you can do when they're trying to block your blessings, because this is, you know what I just thought of? This is another thing that I've noticed with women. It's almost like when they see an empowered man that knows his worth, and she starts to act like she's interested in all that. You, as a direct man, you make it known, okay, yeah, like, I'm about this. And then she starts to play games. And then as a man, you say, okay, well, then I'm just going to remove my attention. It's no problem. I'm just going to go over here and you go over there. It's like she gets upset that you took away her play toy or something. Like, you were, like, she was a dog and you were the bone, and you just took away her bone. And it's like, you didn't want, like, you wanted to play games with it. So why should I be your toy, right? I'm not going to be your toy. I'm nobody's toy. And yet they get upset when you have respect for yourself and you're actually self-empowered. And it's not just like whimsical empowerment. No, it's like you are centered in your manhood, and you know exactly who you are, and you know what you're about. And just knowing what you're about, it's amazing what kind of power you really have, and the kind of aura and the presence that you have when you just know what you're about. When you know what you're about, it's like there's a certain reverence that people are almost forced to have for you, because it's hard to not respect somebody that is actually in control of their life. It's hard to not respect somebody that has actually got their crap together. It's hard to not respect somebody that lets things go when they can't control them, control the things that they're trying to control. Like, if you can't control it, it's fine. And of course, that's a bit of a stoic practice, but I think that applies to most any kind of spiritual understanding, is that you have to be able to let things go. And as soon as I realized, this is when I really got truly empowered as a man. When I realized that relationships are all transactional. And that's okay. That's okay. Like, unconditional love for us men doesn't exist. Women will have unconditional love, and children will have unconditional love. Men cannot have unconditional love. It's just not possible. They can feel it, but they can never really receive it except from God himself. God is going to be the only one that can give you truly unconditional love. And that's okay. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how God made us. So it's not anything to be upset about, but it is something to accept about this life. But anyways, guys, I hope this message was useful and insightful. And until next time, peace be with you.